Is it recording? It's not showing on my end.
Just started.
Yep, there we go. All right, this is the mayor manager meeting on October the 13th, right? And in the Teams meeting is Linda Olson, Allison McKinney-Brown, Jay Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Stephanie Carlisle, and Shawn Lewis.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll go ahead and get started with the October 19th study session item. Just one item on that, 2020 citizen survey results. Going on to the regular items, we'll have a motion for award of a contract for the Broadway Hamden Bridge reconstruction. We'll have a motion for a contract for Vet Securing America Corporation. That's for EVE Security Services. Excuse me, approval of a contract for Keeson Landscape Services for EVE Snow and Ice Services. We will have a contract for TerraCare for EVE Landscaping and Ground Services. And excuse me, this is the problem with the lunchtime meeting when I eat before we meet. Now I'm lost. Okay, there we are. IGA with the school district for joint services. This is the new kind of combined IGA that does away with all the individual items from the past and consolidates everything into one. And then we'll have the model traffic code adoption and the stormwater utility rate increase ordinance. And keep in mind, this is all consistent with what you've already approved or will have approved in the budget, but we just want to, these need to come to you as an ordinance too. So all of the utility rate increases that you see there are part of that. And then you'll have the second reading of the City of Inglewood budget. That is second reading, right?
Yes, it is. Both of those are the mill levy and
right.
Correct.
And then adopt amendments to the fire code. I don't know what that next one is. City of Inglewood. There we go. The mill levy, though, is the following one. Yeah, Jade, can you mark that one? I'm not sure what that is. And then this mill levy adoption, adopting amendments to the energy code, electrical code, building code, existing building code, fire gas code, plumbing code, property maintenance code, residential code, and mechanical code.
So that previous one was the City of Inglewood appropriation, as well as this will be the appropriation for Selfplot.
Okay. Yeah, if we can make that change on this list. And then also, Jade, can you combine all of the code amendments? I know this is just for our working list, but I think it'll be a little bit easier if you group all the code ones together.
Yep, of course.
Thank you. And that rounds us out for the 19th.
Can we go up to the 19th top then? We missed setting the discussion time. So 20 minutes they're going to present and we'll have the full results, right? They're ready to go. We get to look through that booklet, which will be probably electronic. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, your whole packet will be electronic. Is that what you mean?
No, I know. We used to get this really, really beautiful bound thing.
Oh, no, you won't be getting that.
Yeah. Which I have many of. No, so that's the packet we'll get though with the results of all that this national company did, right?
Correct.
And then I don't know. Maybe 20-minute, half-hour discussion. That's our only study session part of this, right?
Yes,
If it goes less than that, it doesn't matter.
I think 30 minutes is good. We did go down in some categories. Policing, I think, across the country went down. And we want to just overview some of those items for sure.
Okay. All right. And then a bunch of these are on consent and then some are not. So that's, yeah. Okay.
Right.
The next 20.
All right, the 26th, we have the September overview, financial overview. We have, and these are, the whole thing is a study session, integrated snow response plan, review utility billing software vendor selection, US 85 planning and environmental linkages study update, and the mutual aid and emergency response, Title 7, Chapter 7.
Do you want to put times in these now, or do you want to wait?
Sure.
Hey, Shawn, do you mind me asking what the purpose of the snow response plan is? Has it been asked by council members or?
It's actually a required mitigation plan, but it is something that we would like council to bless. You know, there are different levels of snow removal plans that are more or less costly, more or less robust, and so I always think it's a good idea for councils to see this, but it is something we are required to do for hazard mitigation.
Okay, no, appreciate the response.
So on the finance one, 10-minute presentation, 10-minute discussion. We probably never needed that much, but it'd be nice to have that in there.
Yep.
And then, you think there's going to be much interaction around the snow removal? Is it just kind of straightforward questions for 10 minutes? What do you think?
I'm thinking maybe 10, 15 minutes because things are now popping into my head about some of the questions we got from citizens.
Okay, 15 then. All right. Utility billing. I totally forgot that we were moving to monthly. After how many times have I heard this conversation? So how long do you think this will take? 20 minutes discussion? Do you think there's going to be a lot of questions?
No.
So less
Off the
than
software, off the software itself?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Do
think
you really need 20 minutes to present this?
I can clarify with
I'm sorry. Are you laughing at me, Shawn?
No,
I thought I was muted, but no, I agree with you. Surely we can cover that in max 15.
Yep, I can reach out and clarify just to make sure that to see if we can get this cut down shorter if you would prefer.
Yeah.
Would you prefer 15 minutes max, or would you prefer
Yeah,
to try and get it in 10?
I don't know what for 20 minutes they're going to do.
I was laughing about it, Linda, because I don't get 20 minutes with my customers. And so they give me like 10 minutes max.
Yeah. Yeah. So 15 minutes max. And if we have questions, probably, yeah. Okay. Next one is Appel. Yeah, this is going to be the update of where we are, right? I think that's going to take, I mean, I think people have questions, don't they? I don't know, maybe they don't.
Yeah, hard to say on this one.
I'd say get 20 minutes of discussion. Do you think?
So Mayor, what is this about? Is this the whole thing from Denver all the way down to like C470? Is it that?
Yeah, it's our Dr. Cog Pell linkage study. So I mean, I don't know very much about where it is yet. I should know better about this, but I don't get those. Yeah, so I think it'll be an update. There's lots of different kinds of expectations people have, but maybe our council doesn't have them.
Jade, can you read that full description? I realize you gave us a brief one, but is there a more?
That's what was given to me. Let me find the item on iCompass, and I will see if they have put any other information in.
Well, that's all right. Generally, these are kind of the precursor to making, you know, big expenditure changes. The federal government requires that you do, you know, an environmental analysis and assessment. It'll look for everything from, you know, are there historic, you know, sites or structures that are impacted? you know, in really looking at the transportation needs and assess everything that counts to, you know, cross intersections. So it's just the precursor to a more significant project. And you're correct, it's from Denver all the way to C470, I believe.
And I unfortunately don't have any other information to add.
No worries.
Yeah, I think I asked her if she would do this at some point because I felt like we haven't given enough info yet. This is a big amount of money that we got for this. So this will be helpful. Next one is, oh, Title VII.
Okay, while that sounds intimidating, it's actually 8 paragraphs, 7 of which are totally out of date, and 1 of which I don't even know if we want to keep anymore. So I think my presentation can be 10 minutes, and I'll do it exactly like I did last night's, which is kind of boring, but I don't want a lot of emotion in it. And basically, it's just going to point out we no longer have a fire department, so everything having to do with fire department or ambulance services needs to be taken away, and let's refer instead to these existing IGAs. So I think I can present it in 10 minutes and honestly give council 15 minutes to ask questions, but I'd be surprised if it goes that long.
Okay. So it's really cleaning up.
It is. It's a huge cleanup on this one, and I don't think there's going to be anything particularly stressful about it because the city council's already had to do the cleanup even without the code.
Uh-huh. Great. Glad you're finding those.
All right, we're ready to move on to November 2nd.
Yes. Daylight saving time will be over.
Oh, shoot.
I think. Isn't that right?
I think you're right, yeah. We'll have a discussion on for the 2 study session items. The first one is a discussion of the Inglewood trolley, particularly some funding options we want to run by you in case RTD either reduces or cuts funding. And then, excuse me, this will also be the meeting where we overview kind of our plan for assessing and improving the process for food truck registration and licensing. Moving on to the regular items, we have a motion to approve utility billing software contract with Cogsdale. We have an easement agreement with the Colorado Water Conservation Board for Big Dry Creek Diversion Project. We have a recommendation to award a contract to HS3, and that is for the installation of security cameras at the Service Center and Civic Center. We have a public hearing on a vacation of right-of-way at Swedish. And we have an intergovernmental bill for an ordinance of an intergovernmental agreement with CDOT for 285 congestion mitigation study. Any questions on those?
No, we can set times later, right?
I think so.
Looks good.
All right.
Is this helpful to go over advance all the time?
I'm sorry?
Is this helpful to you all to go over these this far in advance?
It certainly doesn't hurt, but if we don't have to each time.
No, I just want to make sure it's helping you all. I mean, I look at them every week, and it's good for me to know this is what's coming, but I just want to know that.
I would agree with that for myself.
Okay.
And plus, we kind of sometimes catch little glitches here and there.
Yeah. And
although, is it just me, or have Stephanie and Jade totally reduced the number of glitches in this process? I love it.
Yeah, since it moved from you to them, I gotta say.
It's 100% true.
I'm teasing.
I always knew that was the case. That's why we wanted to do it. Goodness. Okay, so are we on November 9th? So we'll have boarding commission interviews November 9th. And on November 16th, we'll have a study session on asset management. Right now, that's the only study session item scheduled. And that will probably not take the whole time. So That's an opportunity to plug in one more issue if you all want
What
to.
do you think we should plan for that?
The asset management discussion, I think 30 minutes will be, or well, that would be total. Yeah, I think probably 20-minute discussion.
20-minute discussion or presentation?
Well, I would really like for the department to submit that to say, but I would say probably a 20-minute or 15-minute presentation, maybe 15 discussion, but.
I don't think we've ever, this is kind of a new conversation, isn't it?
It is, and this actually stems from your strategic plan where you said
Yeah.
we really want to understand the life cycle of our buildings and how to, maintain them. And really what you're describing, of course, is asset management. And so we want to kind of overview for council the more comprehensive asset management plan for parks, public works, utilities, and the departments that really maintain physical assets.
I think it's going to be longer than 15 minutes discussion. What do you think, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a longer discussion.
I'd say 30 minutes at least. I just think this is totally new and people are really wanting this. It'll be great. I think they'll have interest. I mean, I guess if the presentation is so straightforward, they don't have questions, that might happen, but I think we should allow for 30 minutes at least. Nice. We good to do that.
Great. On the regular items, we have a motion to approve a contract with MB Transportation. That's the operator of the trolley. We have 2021 rate and fee schedule resolution. And Allison, remind us how that differs from the ordinances that we will have passed in October.
So under the code, some of the rates and fees are established by ordinance and some are established by resolution. And Maria S. and I, 2 years ago, just created the rate and fee schedule, which is an umbrella on an annual basis. The sewer and stormwater are still set by ordinance, but water is set by resolution. So that will be increased in the rate and fee schedule. There are additional fees associated with stormwater and or wastewater. There are additional fees associated with wastewater that are set by resolution and not by ordinance. So it just depends on what the code says as to how those rates or fees are increased.
Thanks. All right. We also have the 20 public hearing on, are we still on the 16th? Yes.
We are.
Vacation of right-of-way on South Brant Street. First reading of a vacation of a public right-of-way at Swedish on the 3% lodger's tax increase ordinance. What is this one?
That if the voters approve the 3% lodger's tax increase, then the language of that tax increase needs to be incorporated into the code. And if we don't do it immediately, those things tend to get lost. And so we just have that on as a placeholder to come up directly after the election. If it's approved, we will have an ordinance ready to go to incorporate that language into the code. If it's not approved, we'll just delete the item.
Great, thank you. And then we have the Selfplot Renew Farm Lease Agreement for 2021. And that's the.
I had this requested as a consent item, but it is an ordinance on first reading.
It's because it's the contract with the trolley, is that why?
No, the farm, and I think it's something we've had for.
I'm sorry. I just got my eyes off of the right one. I was back at the top again.
I can say, while it is an ordinance and typically ordinances on first reading do not go on consent, these are all renewal farm agreements. So there's nothing new in this farm lease ordinance. It has to, because of the way the charter's written, these farm leases have to be approved by both the city of Inglewood and the city of Littleton in ordinance form. So there's nothing new here, but this is technically a requirement to conform with charter to have it all.
I think we've always done it on consent, to be honest. I don't ever remember really talking about this. This is the sludge, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sludge.
I think
Well,
is.
it's the land that is owned by the Selfplot renewal that is leased out to farmers, and they actually farm the land. So it's the terms of the lease agreement for the farmers who are farming the Selfplot renewals land. And part of that does involve where sludge is applied.
You know, we might want to put it on regular just so that we can inform new council members if they've never seen this before. Just more to, I mean, do we have a lot on that? We don't have a lot on that day. So what do you think, Nathaniel? It seems like we've got enough new people that might not know.
Yeah, and actually I was thinking about it. I think member Russell always brings it up. So I think it always comes off of consent because there's always a question. So
okay, well, you have a better memory than I do. Yeah, let's put it on regular.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, November 23rd, that is a study session. Right now we have 3 items: the October financial review, discussion on sustainability, and an update on our economic development strategies and programs.
Great.
Moving on to December 7th, we have, and I'm sorry these aren't fully written in. We've just put placeholders on the agenda for the topic, but the departments will be filling in more detail on this. But the walkability study session is just our strategies and a discussion with council on how to make the city more walkable, pedestrian friendly. We have the board and commission handbook on December 7th, an easement agreement ordinance. That is for the Big Dry Creek diversion project. And then we have a first reading of vacation of the public right-of-way on Grant Street. You may remember this is the one that the resident came and spoke to you all.
Yeah.
This one. Moving on to December 14th, we have transportation safety, residential safety, and that will wrap up the year.
Amazing.
I did want to interject and just double check and confirm. Is there a specific date you would like to bring forward in-person meetings? I just want to make sure that we're able to get it to the departments if needed.
Yeah, I guess we said December. I don't know, December beginning, December, whatever.
Probably the 14th. It's either the, actually, Mayor, so are you going to be out that first week?
No, I
Travel
can't
got
go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we
Would
could
like to be in Belize, to be honest, but yeah, no. So December 7th, then, is that where we should be talking about that? Although that's just study session, right?
Correct.
Do we want to talk about it at study session though, Nathaniel, and then we'd have to vote on it?
So you're saying on the 7th or?
Yeah, the 7th is a study session, right?
Right.
No, it's not.
Well, no, the both have study session. Yeah, I think the 14th makes sense, and then we would vote on, well, depending on where we're at, we'll vote on it in January, right?
So there will actually be a second reading on December, I believe, 21st. So you could possibly vote on it at that point as well.
It would seem to me that we would need to talk about it on the 7th then, right?
Yeah. During Mayor's choice?
But then you said we have to have a second reading?
Oh, no, I was saying that there will be, I apologize that it's not currently on the calendar right now, but there will be a meeting on the 21st, as there will be a second reading following the first reading from the 7th. I apologize for the confusion.
Oh, I see. We've got 2 ordinances that we have to do second reading on. Okay.
So if you'd like to discuss it on the 14th and then vote on the 21st, you would have that ability.
Okay. And then on the 21st, would that be our looking at the calendar. We usually do a holiday dinner, but I don't really think this group is going to want to do one if we don't want to be back in person. So guess we can figure that out later. So I think we've got to put it on the 7th and discuss it probably, and then that's in good faith, and then bring something forward if we have to on the 14th and 21st. Is that the 14th? I don't know.
And you'd like this under Mayor's Choice, or would you prefer it at the study session?
I think it should be in a regular item, don't you all think?
I prefer Mayor's Choice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because there may be no new information at that point. So.
Okay. Okay. Let's leave it there.
Thank you.
Thanks for reminding us of that. All right, are we done?
You're done.
Anything from last night? Do you want to confirm?
I do have a couple of council requests. Number one, the one that Nathaniel made with regard to update on pesticides and herbicides. And Nathaniel, if it's okay with you, can I just clarify? Let's see, staffing costs and other implications for going herbicide free in parks, herbicide pesticide free in parks. And then also, I don't think you mentioned, well, you may have mentioned this, but I was also going to add something about an update on progress towards using organic pesticides in parks. I don't know if you know this, and we can update you in the request, but we are doing pilot projects, pilot testing on some organics right now, and working with some other cities as well. So.
Yeah, I guess that would be part of my update in terms of air step approach, right? So we're moving away from the original to a organic.
Right. And then the other one was smoking in parks, and Christina was emailing me, but I didn't get it in time to answer that it is voluntary on the smoking. The city attorney did forward me some language from code that the city manager or designee can establish rules at parks. But I think that one would be significant enough. I would want to take that back to council before we establish a new rule on smoking. But it is voluntary right now.
So I think the question I thought that member Russell was bringing up is that there seems to be a sign that is saying that it's required. If is that true or not, or how is it worded?
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah, we'll clarify with her, but we'll have that council request in as well.
Okay. Great. I think those were the only ones I was aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're done?
I think so.
Time is 12:33 and the mayor manager meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.